Greetings sailors and welcome back to a bit of live gameplay, and I thought today I would choose the newest acquisition in my port, which is the Tier 11 European destroyer Dalarna. I've played like one game in it already, but it was a pretty good game, as you can see. Basic 10-point captain. And this thing's actually kind of interesting. I didn't realise it had the... I probably read it at some point in a dev blog, but I didn't realise it had the selectable torpedo range, which... like, you get very good range and very good speed with the longer range ones, but they're also the very weak 10,700 torps. But you can also take the higher risk option of having the 8-kilometre torps, which still aren't amazing damage. There we go, 17,500. It's pretty decent, but it's hardly amazing for tier 10. Amazing would be sort of 21k plus, or, you know, well, I was going to say even more, but that's kind of covered by the plus, I suppose. Now, before I go any further, also, I do want to just, like, my patrons are aware of this already, but my dad died about a week and a half ago, but I've been obviously taking some time for myself because of that. So I want to thank everybody that gave well wishes in the previous video. So it was downhill very suddenly at the end, so it wasn't lingering, which I think was a relief to everybody. So yeah, that's been a thing. That's been happening, but. Although obviously you're going to be sort of dealing with the after effects emotionally of that for a while, I'm hoping I can at least try and do more video stuff. I'm also going to have a go at doing Mech Warrior this week, so we'll see how that goes as well. I'll try recording some of that. I'm not totally sure which set of mods to go for, though, because the two sort of big alternate ones are the yet another Mech Lab series of mods, and the other one is Merc Tech. I think there's Pirate Tech that goes along with that, which adds some potentially quite silly things and non-canonical things. And I've only played with the YAML mods so far. I haven't tried Merc Tech, so on the one hand, it might be interesting to try it out, sort of fresh recording for the first time, but on the other hand, I don't know how well that gels with the main story campaign, as opposed to the career mode, which I do want to do. I do want to do the main story campaign. Anyway, okay, one sub, no carrier, fair few super ships. I think there's a super ship mission chain going at the moment, so maybe that's not too surprising. Maybe lots of people just play their super ships anyway, I don't know. Though you don't get as much income from them. I mean, they are meant to be sort of end of the tree credit sinks. Right, it's also Thingamy arms race, so that actually spices things up a little bit. We'll see what we can see. I might possibly see if I can contest this here. I don't want to take too much of a risk early on, but if our sub grabs this, then if I could even just keep them off that or grab the other one myself, we'll see. That might maybe be worth doing, although I'm not sure if he is actually going to. Tell you what, we'll continue on this course and then we can loop round and grab that one if need be. What are we likely to run into? Well, there is another Dalarna, Yue Yang, which can't taunt me, Kitakazi with nasty guns, and Jutland, which could potentially be like if it's played well. And there's also an enemy Balau, which might be on this flank. This is not the stealthiest ship. It is quite a big ship, 6.1 kilometers. It does have more firepower than the tier 10, though. Even if I just spot and loop back and get the thing. That might be useful. I've got a heal to absorb some damage, so that's fine. Shall we maybe actually go with the... That's the shorter range torps, yeah? No, that's the longer range torps. Well, that's just wasting time. It's the Kitakaze. Okay. Right, well, we're not going to stop them getting out, and there is indeed the sub. So we're going to have to try and disengage. Well, obviously that's far too close. But, there we go. We're far enough away now. So we just get unspotted and get the thing. It'll put the torps back on the long range. And could get unspotted any time now. That would be nice. Oh, that's a real bad time for my engine to get knocked out. Oh, Delaware planes! No, go away, Delaware planes. No, we don't want you. The sub's just continuing to randomly ping, but hopefully, if the Hanover's paying attention, the Hanover can maybe do something about it. Alright, I think the planes might actually be going for the Hanover rather than trying to look for me. That's the Kitakaze. Right, that was not the most successful thing I could have done. But we got a good handle on where the Balau is. So that's fine. If I get real lucky, I might even strike the Kitakaze. But it won't be a huge amount of damage if I do. Oh, that was very close. Oh, hello, sub. You surfaced briefly. Stop knocking my engine out. I do not appreciate it. I do not appreciate it at all. That's just rude is what that is. Right, there's the Annapolis. I think we'll grab this and bug out because the Annapolis obviously has a radar. So that's fine. I can't really afford to push on the Balau. Oh, that's very cheeky, Kitakaze. Wow, the engine on this is really getting knocked out, like, a lot. Like, a lot. That's ridiculous. So let's pop the... Yeah. I might be a bit rusty at this. I mean, I have been playing, just obviously... yeah. Not that much at tier 10. I played the one game in this the other day, and then, yeah. Right, Annapolis. Let's put torps out there. We're just going to back off at this point, I think. No, Annapolis! If you knock out my engine again, oh my god. Okay, we obviously need to compensate for a weak engine on this thing. Because that was, what, the 4th or 5th time the engine got knocked out? It was at least the 4th. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. So, obviously I made a truly amazing contribution to that game. Good enough to put me over 1,000 XP. And as we can see, wow, that Hanover, well, just the last couple of players, but particularly those three, I suppose. 2800, 2900 and 3.4k. Wow. That was a heck of a game for them. I almost wish I'd stuck around to see it, but I went off and got myself something to drink instead. So, whoops. Maybe I should have just left it running while I did that instead of going back to port. But I did want to check something. And the thing I wanted to check was what captain skills I had. And obviously I do not have last stand, so let's hope we have enough XP to get that. Yes, we do. That seems like it's going to be kind of vital because... yeah, that was a bit ridiculous how much that happened. I think there's also equipment that... engine room protection. I think that lessens the likelihood, so you don't have to rely on last stand so much, but maybe we want to stick with damage control. That does increase the rate at which things are repaired, though, so even though you do still have some mobility whilst the engine's knocked out with last stand, it does still slow you down while you're waiting for it to be repaired. So let's actually go with that, I think. I can always switch it back if need be. That's not a super expensive module. Right, so let's play the first game of this recording, because that last game clearly didn't happen. It's just a figment of your imagination. Yeah, let's go with that. Doesn't look like I'm going to get an aircraft carrier this time, so that might be less fun. But at least the AA on this thing is sort of decent. Okay, we actually locked out. No carriers, no CVs. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Domination game this time. And we're a bit more concentrated towards the super destroyers, but there's also still an Annapolis per side as well. So there is some radar to worry about. The enemy team also has a Tromp, but I don't think the Tromp is as stealthy as I am. That's actually one I could get. I do have the coal. I've got, I think, 2 or 3 coal ships I could purchase, but none of them are particularly appealing. So, yeah, maybe I will get the Tromp at some point, just because, yeah, it's the least unappealing, if that makes any sense. Anyway, yeah, let's go have a little look-see first. And maybe stay a bit further back this time. Okay, it's those ones that are the shorter range torpedoes. I will get it eventually, remembering which torps are which. Because it just says 1 and 2, it doesn't really, like, just visually glancing at it, you can't tell that one's the long range and one's the short range. Hopefully at some point they will actually add in a visual difference, so you're not having to just memorize it. Is it the same on the Yamagiri? Is it the same order? I mean, is it like the longer ranged ones and then the shorter ranged ones? I honestly can't remember. Anyway, they are stealthier than I am, so we'll let them do any spotting. We'll try and play a bit more cautiously this time than last time, because clearly that didn't work out so well. I do at least have a very good reload on these. 76 seconds, I think, on both. Yeah, so once I've got enough captain skills for... well, I can either decrease that further with captain skills, or I can get Adrenaline Rush, of course, where it'll be a little more organic as to when I actually... or how much of a reload I get. A reload boost. Although with a quicker reload like this, sometimes it can be worth more getting the fixed reload skill if you know it's already going to be a short reload, and the sort of variable reload is maybe not quite as useful a thing. Oh, okay, there's the Tromp. I can't remember if they've got a signal or not. Right, there goes the engine. Yeah, wow, I was really not aware how vulnerable the engine on this thing was. That's ridiculous. Right. Well, the Tromp apparently is more stealthy than me, but only just. I thought they were less stealthy than me. You know, I really wish I'd recorded that first game I had, because apparently now I'm just playing rubbish. Oh, yeah, I am glad I took the... the engine and the steering on this thing are so vulnerable. It's ridiculous. Right, there's Annapolis radar. The Annapolis is close enough to radar. That's not welcome news. Oh, and this is also a bit stiff in the water, and we don't really want to... Oh, dear. Am I going to die to an Annapolis again? I hope not. Oh, I really have to get behind this island. If I could stop spawning on the side with the radars, that would be quite nice. This might kill me. No, no, we're going to live. For goodness sake. Right, well, I know where the Annapolis is now. And I know that the Tromp is apparently more stealthy than me. So I think we're going to run away from this particular area, because if the Annapolis is just going to island camp, I can't really counter that. So much for being more cautious. It's not like I was rushing in there, especially. But it didn't really matter as it turned out. Oh well. I do have heals left, but I'm going to blow them all, getting back up to just half health it looks like. If this Tromp goes, not Tromp, the Annapolis goes down, that will be exceedingly useful. Exceedingly useful indeed, although I don't know if anyone beyond the Hindi is actually firing at them right now. So we can get a cheeky couple of shots off. I'm probably not going to do anything, but you never know. Right. Ohio. You are much too far away. Pity, can't do much about that. I can just spray some random 15-kilometer torps, I suppose, and hope that I hit something. Which is, you know, an entirely legitimate strategy when you have a quick reload. Okay, that's one enemy Yamagiri out. I might just whiz over to the other flag, to be honest. I think there might be more for me to do there. No radar. The destroyer on that flank is knocked out, so yeah. Well, we lost our radar. That's not so good. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. We'll maybe be able to drop some torpedoes in the face of advancing ships. So we might even be able to do it with the higher damage torpedoes as well. Oh, that's the Tromp. Okay, they've come back into the middle to re-engage, and now Dalarna's just kind of going for it. But, I mean, I guess it wasn't... Well, engagement wasn't totally in vain. I did do some damage to the Tromp, which clearly they don't have a heal for, but their rate of fire might just allow them to... Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. I mean, they're now very low health, to the point where, yes, I could take them, but... we now have other ships to worry about. And I don't want to be super precipitous. Oh, also there's an enemy Dalarna who is full health. That's not good news. But we do kind of have to spot them. Because, yeah. Right, I've got one heal left. I don't want to do this, but let's not leave our Shima in the lurch. Let's hope this is a target-rich environment, that they don't all decide to immediately focus me, because this Dalarna needs to die. I mean, they really have... And this is rich coming from me, given how I played in the last game. Not that I over-advanced in the last game, but... yeah, I didn't account for enemy players being aggressive, but yeah, they themselves have been very aggressive, and it's not gone well. Have they lost their engine as well, or are they just trying to... No, I think they have lost their engine as well. This thing has got such a weak engine. My word. It's kind of ridiculous. Right, I don't know if this is going that well, to be honest. Yeah. See if we can pick up that guy, but that does take us quite close to the Montana. And there's a Herdulio over there as well. And the Tromp's just pelting our ships with... yeah. The Montana at least doesn't seem to be taking any particularly corrective action. So I might land some torps here. We might even switch to the higher damage torps. Yeah, there we go. A couple of hits. But these are pretty weak torps, so none of those were amazing. Oh, hello! Right, now we have to live and disengage somehow. But probably not the first one. Probably only just kill this Dalarna. Because I have a suspicion that Montana's going to want me quite dead as well. Can we at least kill the Dalarna? Yeah, there we go, I got a kill out of it. Right, let's have the Montana's firing AP. I think the Herdoleo isn't taking any notice of me. Oh, it's fine, it's fine. I'm fine, everything's fine. I've managed to kill this time, at least. Well, there we go, the Herdoleo is unsurprisingly firing high explosive. Is this winnable? I mean, they've got a bit of a lead. We know the Tromp is low health, but they are now... I mean, they can outspot me and fire quickly, so... yeah. Are these the... these are 15-kilometer ones. Okay, that's fine. I still apparently can't remember. I better try to go for the GK. The GK does have Hydro, of course. But the immediate risk of being outspotted... yeah, there's the Tromp. Right, we might... like, if I bump into the Tromp, we might mutually annihilate each other. I think that would be the best we could hope for. So, we'll see how this goes. Okay, Herdoleo does have Hydro, got to remember that. I might drop on them, actually. Hopefully they're both focused on the St. Vincent. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this one, but I've at least done a bit better this time. I won't pretend it's been amazing, but anything's better than the performance in that first game, which totally didn't happen and was totally a figment of your imagination. Yes. Yes, let's just go with that. So we'll switch back to the longer range torps. I have a feeling people might start taking evasive action. Right, this is going to be enough hits for a kill, I hope. Yeah, there we go. Nice. That levels things a little bit, but only a little. I do still have some very healthy battleships around, unfortunately. Okay, let's stick with the 8-kilometer torps. I don't know if our Columbus... no, our Columbus gone. That just leaves the Hindenburg and the Yamagiri down south. And if the Ohio decided to turn this way and start speed boosting... I mean, I've got a couple of speed boosts myself, but yeah, that could be nasty. GK in theory should be now turning south, or I would turn south if I were them. But they're actually turning this way. Interesting. Right, torpedoes out. Hopefully they are not thinking about the destroyer that may or may not be up here, which definitely isn't. If I could sneak down and get the cap. Like, this is still maybe possible, but my word, it would require some luck. Oh, yeah, they also have a very healthy Yamagiri. Okay, no, maybe that puts it back a bit too much in their favour. If it was just the low health Tromp, but... No, he's running his Hydro. Okay, that's fair enough. That's the sensible thing to do. Even with the speed of these, the Hydro will give enough warning. Yeah, I think they're just going to take this on points. I was thinking I might try and wiggle my way down to A, but I don't think there's time now. Our Yamagiri might take the Tromp, but yeah. They just have too many hit points left on their team, alas. Well, I like to think I've made a much better effort of it this time than I did last time. And I got a dev strike out of it too, so that's not too shabby. Oh, there's the tromp apparently. So speed boost! We don't want to get too close. Oh, I am now the last person alive. Let's just see if we can get some damage done. If we can get the torps into this curve first. His hydro must have run out. That might even be another dev strike. That's going to be a... Yeah, there we go. But if you can get into a position to use those 8-kilometer torps, they are pretty effective. But this is all really far too late to be making any kind of real difference at this stage. Not with this amount of hit points. I'm just delaying the inevitable. Yeah, I'm just playing for myself at this point, trying to get more XP out of it. I don't think there's any feasible way to salvage this, unless I got super lucky and somehow hit the Yamagiri with a blind torp and detonated them, and everyone came towards me and I detonated them as well. Yeah, somehow I don't think that's likely to happen. Right, you're not quite sure where I am. It's always guesswork at this stage of a game, trying to figure out what an enemy might be doing, but I'm about to give it away soon enough. I don't think there's enough time for anyone to actually... Yeah. They've just about capped C, which is going to speed things up for them. I think they've turned enough that... Oh, hello. Right, so we're going to get our climactic last battle with the Tromp, it seems like. I've gotten the first shot off this time. There we go. It was exactly as predicted. The mutual kill. Oh, well. I got to see those 8-kilometer torpedoes at the sort of best extent, though. That's certainly a far better damage performance than last time, but yeah, killing that GK was far too late in the game to actually make any difference, sadly. Oh well. So, yeah, the first one was a win, and the one that I was actually around for, well, it was more interesting to watch, but a loss. Sadly. I was considering doing another one after this, but this is already like an hour's recording almost. Well, not quite an hour, but like 40 odd minutes. The first game really didn't last very long for me personally, so yeah, I think we'll just wrap things up there, and yeah, I'll definitely come back to this at some point. I think I kind of like it. The concept of it, but man oh man, that engine is so weak. I had no idea it was so weak. But, you know, the best way to get to know a ship is to play it, I suppose, so yeah. Alright, so that's it for this video. You can do all the usual things down underneath it, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.